me, Michele, on the street lights on the corner. City vibes got a story. Feel the beat, don't ignore me.
Welcome into another episode of Talk to Me, Michele. I'm your host, Michele, with that one L. Everybody getting ready for Easter. Please, I don't want to see no bright suits in my timeline because, you think it would be like back in the 80s type of thing, the 90s type of thing. No, some of y'all still wear these bright fluorescent Easter color outfits to church, and y'all got to know it's hard to give praise when you got a headache. When you're staring at somebody and the color is so loud, you got a headache. So I hope everybody has fun on that note. But while you're here, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also forward me to a friend. I'm open for you guys to drop me an episode suggestion, something you want me to talk about. If it's something that you may have personally gone through, I'm open to you guys sending me letters, and you can remain anonymous because I want to open the platform up to where you guys send me letters. Let me get my spin on it and see if I can at least get you on track, okay? So send those emails to talktomemichele@gmail.com. But I want to get into something that might make a few folks uncomfortable. Yeah, I know. I have a tendency to do that. Growth isn't always cozy. We're talking about the power of diverse friendships. Why it matters to have people in your life who don't look like you, live like you, worship like you, or season their food the same way you do. Because let's be real, some of y'all ain't just using garlic powder. That's another episode. With all this mess happening, schools cutting back Black history, indigenous studies are being erased, and folks are out here acting like diversity is a bad word. It's more important than ever that we connect with each other on a real human level. Friendship should not come with a filter, and we are really trying to build a better future. It starts with who we break the bread with. So pull up, lean in. We're going to talk about it. Friendship shouldn't come with a filter. And we really need to try to build a better future. And that starts with us breaking bread with everybody, okay? So let's pull up, lean in. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to get into it because the way they're playing with history right now, it's giving Gaslight 101. So the T is in certain states like Florida, Texas, and a few others that shall remain blessed and confused. They are literally removing parts of history from the classroom. And not just the dusty textbook pages either. We're talking about whole history, Black history, indigenous truth. Anything that make you feel anything is what they're taking out. They want to rename slavery as involuntary relocation. That's not a field trip, okay? And if it is, it's a field trip gone wrong. That's a whole crime against humanity. Now, I want to address the people that are saying learning about racism makes white children feel uncomfortable. Look, if a child is more upset by learning about racism than people were about experiencing it, we are missing the whole damn point. It's not just about feelings, it's about what happens when we hide the truth. Because here's the grown folk truth. When we stop teaching history, we stop growing. And when we stop growing, we start repeating. Let me say that again. We start repeating. Now, who wants to go back in time like it's 1950, but you still paying 2025 rent prices? Now, I'm going to make it real personal because think about how the kids are losing out. When we sanitize the truth about the history of all cultures, watering it down or just flat out erasing it, we're raising kids who don't know how to stand up and speak out or sit in on the truth, pretty much. Just sit back and take it kind of culture. And you know what scares me the most? It's not just that they're erasing the pain. They're erasing the power too. The pride, the legacy, the joy that comes from knowing your people didn't just survive, they thrived. So if all this going on, how do we fight back? It's not just about the hashtags, the Facebook posts, or that one cousin who always wants to start a petition but never follows through. We got to fight back in real life, with real relationships, real conversations, and by making sure the truth lives on in our homes, our circles, and yes, even our friendships. They might control the curriculum, but they can't control the culture. And they sure enough can control what we choose to teach each other. Let's bring it closer to home. Let's talk about your circle. Yeah, go ahead. Do a mental roll call of your people, your group chat, your happy hour gang, how you survived COVID together crew. Now, here's the question. How many of them challenge you? And how many of them just mirror you? Because diverse friendships don't just mean you got to be one black friend or that one white homegirl who went to a HBCU and still says period too loud in public. Diversity in friendships is deeper. It's about race, yes, also religion, class, sexuality, gender identity, ability, culture, and even your age. You'd be surprised on what you can learn from someone older or younger than you if you actually slow down and listen. Diverse friendships can stretch you, really enrich you. They pull you out of your echo chamber and put you in an empathy bag. They teach you to unlearn stereotypes, ask better questions, and show up in ways that aren't just performative. And here's a little fact. People with diverse friend groups tend to be more empathetic, socially aware, and get this, better at problem solving. Why? Because they have had more practice seeing things from different angles. If your whole circle looks, thinks, and lives just like you, how are you growing? You're basically having meetings with yourself. And don't nobody learn a thing doing that. Now, I'm not saying go out, start collecting people like a diversity version of Pokemon. I'm not saying that. And this is not a DEI starter kit either. I'm saying open your heart, open your mind, and your friend requests. Start with curiosity and some compassion. You'd be surprised how beautiful life gets when you stop needing everyone to match your vibe and start honoring theirs. Some of the great benefits of having diversity in your friendships is you actually learn from them. See, a lot of folks love to say, I don't see color. Okay, well, if that's the case, I don't see your blind spots. Because when you're truly seeing people, you see the richness in who they are. Because when you truly see people, you see the richness in who they are, not just the parts that are convenient or cute on a brunch invite. Now, how we can learn from each other, I don't mean on some let me taste your food and say I tried it type of hype. I'm talking about that deep-rooted, soul-growing type of learning. Like, have you ever sat in a room and watched how a Korean family celebrates Lunar New Year? The respect for the elders, the symbolism in the food. It's not just a holiday, it's a whole lesson in gratitude and honoring your roots. Or Ethiopian coffee ceremony. Now, let me say this. It's not just a drink, it's about the togetherness, slowing down, talking, breathing, and being present. Meanwhile, we over here like, let me hit this button and go argue on the internet. We can also learn how other people grieve and heal. Some cultures wail and cry loudly, and that's considered sacred. Others sit in silence. Some dance, some wear white instead of black. All of it's beautiful when you understand what's behind it. And imagine the food you'd be exposed to. Jamaican food, Puerto Rican food, Danish food, Jewish food, all these things come to the table, okay? So you stop assuming your way is the only way. You start respecting people's boundaries, their beliefs, backgrounds, in a whole new light. And it's not just about being woke for the gram. It's about being awake for actual relationships. So I'm going to ask you this, and I want you to sit down with it. When was the last time you asked a friend about their culture? Not just where they're from, but what they value. That question right there is powerful because you can go from surface level to soul level, and that's where the magic lives. All right, let's address the elephant in the group chat. If diverse friendships are so beautiful, so necessary, and so good for the soul, why don't more people have them? I'm going to be honest, a lot of folks are stuck in bubbles. Not just physical ones. Though some of y'all haven't been outside a 10-minute mile radius since 2019, but mental ones, emotional ones, comfortable ones. You grew up around folks who all looked like you, voted like you, praised the same way as you did. And now you out here talking about, well, I just don't know how to connect with people who are different. You can connect to a Wi-Fi, right? And Amazon Prime in under 30 seconds. You can learn to connect with a human being. Now, I'm not judging because, hey, I'm guilty too. I get it. Sometimes what's stopping us is fear. Fear of saying the wrong thing. Fear of looking foolish. Fear of getting called out instead of called in. And then there's the ignorance. Not in a you dumb kind of way, but you literally just don't know kind of way. But you cannot grow if you're not willing to unlearn what you thought was the truth. That means questioning the stuff that you thought was normal. That means hearing other perspectives without getting defensive or dismissive. You ever hear somebody say, I don't see color, like it's a badge of honor? Now, if you are one of these people, love you, boo, but you got to stop lying to yourself. You do see color. We all do, and that's okay. Seeing someone's color, their culture, or difference is not the problem. The problem is when you assign value or lack value based on that difference. Now, unlearning definitely is uncomfortable. It means you might have to sit in the phew, I didn't realize that was offensive seat. It means you gotta stop making jokes at people's expense and start asking questions instead. I've had moments where I had to pause and say, wait, what I believe about that group of people, where did I even get that from? Usually it wasn't from an experience. It was probably from something I saw on TV, heard something in the family, fear, or just plain ignorance. But once you know better, that's when you have the chance to do better. So if you're feeling a little uneasy hearing this, good. I'm glad you don't feel comfortable. That means we're getting somewhere. And let me tell you, some of the most meaningful, life-changing connections I've ever made came right out on the other side of discomfort. All because I was willing to shut up, listen, and learn something new. You don't need a DEI certification. It's just a little humility and a little heart. Let me get into why some folks just are not there yet. And sometimes it isn't about knowing diverse people. It's about being too scared, too stuck, or too set in your own ways to connect. Maybe it is fear. It could possibly be fear. Fear of saying the wrong thing. Fear of offending somebody. Fear of being uncomfortable. And I'm going to tell you, some of y'all treat discomfort like it's a disease. Like if your palms get a little sweaty or somebody challenges you, you just shut down and run back to your little echo chamber like, whew, that was a lot. Let me go watch some reality TV and decompress. Or maybe it's ignorance. Not you dumb ignorance. I'm talking about that you've never had to think about this before kind of ignorance. You've never had to consider what it's like to be in someone else's shoes because your shoes have always felt just fine. Then there's guilt. And guilt is so sneaky. Some of y'all are carrying around guilt from what your ancestors did or what you didn't do. And now you avoid conversations like they're the IRS. Guilt is not productive unless it pushes you to grow. Otherwise, just noise in your head. Now, for the folks in the bubble, some of y'all haven't talked to anybody outside your political party, your church, or your tax bracket in years. And you're proud of that. You out here like, well, I just, stick to what I know. But my question is, how you ever going to grow if you don't come out your own garden? You know what I mean? I mean, the garden's nice and everything, yeah, but you can venture out some more and grow. All right, so we discussed a lot here, a lot about diverse friendships and why they matter. But I want to talk about what happens after you start building them. Because this isn't just about who you eat lunch with or who shows up at your birthday party. This is about how your life shifts in ways you didn't even realize you needed. I'm going to tell you, some of the most powerful growth I've ever experienced in my life didn't come from school or work. It came from my friendships. Real, deep, diverse friendships that challenged me, made me grow, and sometimes straightened me up. Like how you may raise your child. Completely different because people that share their life with each other, you can sit across from a table with someone who was raising a child with a disability or who had to give up their son the talk at 9 years old about how to survive a traffic stop. And baby, that's just into how you parent. You become more intentional, more protective, and more aware. You got to think about, who might be dealing with some issues that are on the political table right now. And my shopping definitely has changed. Back in the day, I would just grab anything that was on sale. Now I'm more selective. Like, who made this? Is this ethnically sourced? Is it black owned? Is this made by a woman? You got to get a little concise nowadays. Because if you have friends from different walks of life, you realize their dollar has power. Where you spend yours does matter. Also, travel. Some people are all about the beaches, all the exclusive drinks. But if you want culture, history, you want to learn something, want to respect the land that you're visiting, not just taking pictures for Instagram. That mindset came from friends who showed me their cultures that have been misrepresented, misunderstood, and sometimes just straight up stolen. And then there's how I speak up. I don't just stay quiet when I hear something ignorant. Because now I'm not just defending an idea, I'm defending people that I love. You'll be surprised how brave you get when you're protecting someone who matters to you, even yourself. That courage that shows up at those PTA meetings, at work, at Thanksgiving dinner, when the uncle that gets so reckless, yo, I got backup stories for days. And it's nothing new. Look, back during the civil rights, those marches weren't just full of black people. There were Jewish people, white people, Latinos, Indians, Asians, all of these walks of life came all over standing arm in arm. And it mattered. That was solidarity. It's part of why we moved forward. Because people don't often change because of laws. They change because of relationships. Because someone they love said, let me show you the other way. Let me help you understand. Let me walk beside you. Real friendships create real change, not just the kind you post about, the kind you live. So I'm telling you guys right now, if you want to see a better world for your kids, your neighbors, and yourself, start with your circle. Look around and ask yourself, who am I learning from? Who am I showing up for? Who am I willing to grow with? The revolution might not be televised, but it just might start in your own group chat. Let's not just talk about it, let's be about it. Because what's a good conversation if you don't move on it? If you don't do something different? Now I already know some of y'all sitting out there like, okay, Michele, I hear you. But what am I supposed to do? Walk up to a random person and say, hey, I need a diverse friend. No, I'm not saying do that at all. That's how you get looked at real funny at Whole Foods. I'm going to give you some grown, mature, non-creepy ways to diversify your circle. I would first recommend stepping into new spaces, finding a book club, a volunteer group, cooking class, community forum, something where people from different walks of life show up. And don't just come in with your let me observe the culture energy. Participate, be curious and kind and open. You might be the only one who looks like you in the room. That's okay. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. Second, read, watch, listen, and follow. The internet is free, okay? You can get wisdom from Black authors, queer creators, Indian activists, Asian filmmakers, Muslim poets. The world out here is full of color, and too many folks are too comfortable in their own space. Next thing is, please don't be out here collecting people like Pokemon cards. This is very important. This is not about finding a gay friend, a Muslim friend, or a disabled friend. Just to say you got diversity in your set. Build real mutual relationships. Learn with them, laugh with them, eat with them, support their business, show up for their joys and their pain. And let's not forget to check your circle. Look around and ask, does everyone I hang with look like me? Do we all think alike, vote alike, worship alike? And if so, I'm holding myself back from growing. It doesn't mean you drop your day ones. It means you expand your table. You ain't gotta kick folks out just to make room for more chairs. And you gotta also challenge yourself. When something feels uncomfortable, unfamiliar, don't run from it. Sit in it. Ask yourself these questions respectfully, and don't take it personal when you get corrected. Growth is a little messy, but it's a beautiful thing. And don't wait for life to force you into diversity through this crisis or conflict. Choose it now. And choose it with love and curiosity. So if you're wondering what to do next, maybe it starts with inviting someone new to lunch, picking up a book you wouldn't normally read, or saying something like, hey, tell me about your story. Because when you open your heart and your world a little wider, it gets a whole lot richer. All right, y'all, before I let you go, here is the takeaway. In a world that's trying to erase history and divide us, let your friendships speak loudly. Let them be real, and let them be a form of resistance. Because when we build bridges with people who are different from us, whether it's in race, culture, or just life experiences, that's how we push back against the forces that want us to stay divided. And that's how we make change. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope you're leaving here with a little more love for your circle and a little more drive to grow beyond it. Now, if you're enjoying the show, do me a favor, follow, subscribe, and share with a friend, and help me spread the word. And hey, if you want to support the podcast, you can head on over to buymeacoffee.com/talk-to-me-Michele. Your support keeps this thing going, and I appreciate each and every last one of you. Shout out to the MBG Podcast Network for making all this happen. You know how we do. All right, y'all, that's a wrap for today. I will catch you guys next week. So until next time, keep those circles tight and your hearts wide. I will see y'all next episode. Peace.